What people in some countries tend to forget is that a huge portion of the world lives without banking services. And that is one of the huge problems that cryptocurrency actually addresses very well. I talked to Sebastian from Ripio. He gets a little bit into a little bit more detail about that aspect and what Ripio is doing to bring even more financial services than just digital cash to these countries. Enjoy. So Ripio is at its core a Bitcoin wallet, which everyone's familiar with, but you guys kind of have an interesting twist on it. Could you explain what sets Ripio apart?
Yeah, so from the beginning, when we start, we always focus in South America and in emerging markets. So I'm from Argentina, and we have a very high cash economy. There's almost the entire economy runs on cash. We have very poor currencies, high inflation, and across South America there are many issues with the payment system. So that that has all been taken care of, and how when we build Ripio. Our wallet has some differences, like we have built a huge network where you can load it with cash. So there is thousands of locations where you can go to a convenience store and then load your wallet with cash that you're carrying, kind of like you will be doing a top up on your cell phone. We also support having bank transfers, and then there are more traditional things, but the main focus has been always been able to help the unbanked population, which is 70% of the population, 65 to 70% of the population across Latin America, that don't have formal or semi-formal access to financial services. So with our wallet, they can do payments online, they can send money to each other, and they can save in a currency that is an alternative to the local currency.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
I think of people in a lot of countries don't realize that that is, one of the major problems that cryptocurrency in general is solving. Is these countries where you might not have access to a brick and mortar bank. So typically,
Yeah.
before cryptocurrency wallets came around, how would you solve some of those? How were those cash heavy people? What was your day life more like without access to these
So
financial institutions?
some numbers that hit, like, are, for example, if you compare in the US or in developed countries, more than 10% of the economy goes into more than 10% of the retail is online. So if you take all the retail sales of the US, I think in the US is 11% is online and goes through people is buying online. And if you take out groceries, it goes like 20, something like that. In South America is 1.5%.
Oh wow!
So it's a tenth, and it's a tenth for a few reasons. But one of them is that people don't have a means to pay online, or the means that there are super cumbersome, and they are offline methods, or that. What we're helping is into uh, giving options to people to start paying with digitalizing their money. And we do this, for example, one of the use cases that we see a lot is like young kids buying games on Steam or gaming platforms that take Bitcoin. So they will go and load a wallet with pesos in a kiosk nearby. That will be instantaneous, as we have very good integrations with several networks. And then when they scan the QR code, we will automatically convert how many Bitcoins are into the pesos they're holding in the wallet, and the payment will get done. And now they're able to access something that before they couldn't. Like, maybe they see the advertisement of Grand Theft Auto or the Counter Strike like 1,000 times in the web, and they can contact anyone in the world but to commerce is something a lot more difficult. So the mission is to build that access and build this service, which is the wallet, the exchange, and the payment processing service, is the lower layer. And on top of it, we'll be building more and more financial services to this population. And we already have one that we are starting to work on, that is in beta and already have users using it, which is building a credit product. We learn a lot about the user when they use us. We learn how often they load the wallet, what payments are doing, and we get a lot of transaction information that help us start scoring them and see, okay, well, you will be able to access to will start being able to offering credit to people and allowing them to buy things that before weren't affordable, and to start paying installments, compared to other options they may have, which are usually it's very expensive to be poor, and the options for getting loans and credits to consume that are offline are usually very, very expensive, and you will find places charging 300, 400% annual, but they are based in handling cash, and they operate with having very little information. And by leveraging technology, we can score much better, and we don't have all the costs that most of the financial industry has, and that allow us to cover more people. The fact that more than half of the population is unbanked is not because it's mostly because banks don't find it economically with the economical sense to offer services to them. It's just too expensive to have a branch of a bank in every city, and everywhere around, or having ATMs. But for us, as we are only a wallet that is an app on your phone, and there are more and more phones everywhere, and the only thing that you can buy now and everywhere is just on a smartphone. The opportunity is there to start banking and giving financial service, giving financial inclusion to a lot of people by lowering the cost of bringing them in.
Yeah, so you said some people are already using this credit system. So I guess my next question is, what does the roadmap look like for Ripio in the next 6 months to 2 years to 5 years?
So anyone that has in this industry a roadmap that is more than a year is delusional.
Yeah.
Because it's moving so fast that you really don't have a roadmap for such a long time. But I tell you what we are focusing on right now for the next 6 months to a year. We're growing in Brazil. We're starting to give service there, and there are some local companies operating, but not focusing on the wallet so much. So we're working a lot on our full service in Brazil and grow it. We keep learning and refining our credit product, which is getting more and more ready for us to scale it. Right now, it's just on test with a very small subset of our users. We have like 1,000 lines that are in use. Get to a point to offer it to most of our users, and then we are working on expanding into other countries across the region. But so for now, the focus is Argentina and Brazil, and keep working on this credit product.
That's great.
Mostly facing on the consumer, but we also thinking on other parts of how the network will get financed and we're working on several things.
That's really great. So, what is your background? How did you get involved with a project like this? What were you doing before this?
Before I had a consulting firm doing software development for other startups. I have always been a tech guy. I start coding at 8. But the thing that brought me in is that I kind of had like a deja vu. When I was in high school, I'm from a small town in the Patagonia. I was in high school with other people. We built an provider. It was a dial-up in the 90s. It was like the working in the first stage of the internet. And when I started to learn more and more about Bitcoin in 2012, I say, oh my God, this is the internet again. Like this is like the internet for value. And but the internet was the internet for knowledge. So it was clear that at least for me, that the first thing that you had to work on is in the access, in the infrastructure. So for the internet, that infrastructure was to build the ISPs, the service providers, the hostings, the portals of information, all that basic things that made the internet. You could not do much in the 80s, but you saw the potential. And with Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies, it's kind of the same. Like even today, it's not that easy to get Bitcoins or cryptocurrency. It's not that simple. Like it's not that. I will say now there are options, but they're not easy to use. And so when we started, the mission has been always build that infrastructure. Like we're building that infrastructure for access, and once and as it gets ready and there is more and more people in it, like we'll be able to build more things on top of it. And by being from the beginning, we know this industry very well, and the idea is that we'll leverage that knowledge into start stacking up more applications and services on top of it.
Yeah, that's great. My next question was going to be, where do you see the cryptocurrency world in general going? But you kind of answered that a little bit. Any advice for people just getting in now? A lot of people say, "Oh, it's too late to get in. It's too late to get in." What are your thoughts on that?
No, I think we are just starting. The and the most interesting thing to work on now is smart contracts, and they are in the network is getting ready to have more. Now there are users. There are substantial amount of users. It's not, I won't say not even 1% of the population, but there is now millions of users, and also the smart contract platforms are getting better and better, and there is a building on top of it and innovating in new ways. There's a huge frenzy with the ICOs and all the thing, and most of them are really, but many projects are interesting, and there will be many interesting projects. Be in that inflection point in history where it seems that things are changing direction, and there is a new kind of economy on how problems are solved, and in a more open and distributed and democratic way of building new solutions. The internet is amazing. I love it. It frees us from the intermediaries from many of information and give information to everyone in a very at the same time it created so many monopolies. It created Facebook, it created these huge companies based on, because of network effects, they are build huge monopolies, and smart contracts and the tokens, and seems to be creating a new kind of way to solving problems, and it could make it a lot more open and a lot more distributed monopolies. So there is something exciting. It's an exciting time to be starting to work on here. And anything that was a contract can become smart. This is the thing that always liked me the most about Bitcoin is that we are in this moment in history where everything is becoming software, and Bitcoin is money becoming software, and as it is becoming software, it gains behavior, and so there are many things that could not be done before that now are feasible. So and the smart contracts is actually a smart contract. I think that there is a lot to work on, and there is a lot to build. So it's a good time. It's a good time to get involved.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. So for the viewers watching now, if they want to find out more about Ripio, if they want to know where you guys hang out online and ask more questions, you want to plug some of your social media and stuff like that?
Sorry, it got a little bit choppy. What did you say? Sorry.
Okay, so for people that want to find out more about Ripio, where can they find you online?
Oh, so you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Our user handle is usually Ripio App, EIOAPP. I will actually also mention one small thing. And Ripio is a stone, it's a gravel that is used to build roads in the country, especially in the Patagonia. Name because we are opening roads for financial inclusion, so that's why the name.
Cool.
And so you just search for that Ripio App, and we are almost usually using the handle. And if you want to follow me, that is, you can find me at Serrano44. That's my birthday. So
okay,
for Sebastian Serrano 44.
Okay.
SSERRANO.
All right. There you go. Check out Ripio.com, and I'll link to all that social media mentioned for Ripio and Sebastian in the description of this video. I encourage you to stick around, check out some more of the interviews with some incredibly interesting people from all around the world. All right, thanks everyone. Bye.